G'day guys, you're back with MiracleMAX. Today in the workshop we have an Isuzu D-Max 2012 model with a 4JJ1, that's the 3-litre diesel engine in it, and it's got some weird things on the dash. It's got a battery light as well as a handbrake light. Very interesting. What's wrong with it? I don't know. Let's figure it out together.
Max the mechanic is the man who fix it all, yes he can. With a joke and a cheer, your car troubles disappear.
This customer has bought this vehicle in on a recommendation from another one of my customers. They've had this light on the dash for quite some time and the battery keeps going flat. So it's just an alternator, isn't it? But why is the handbrake light on as well? I don't know. I've done some very simple tests to start with. Start at the battery. Any sort of electrical problem, start at the battery. For starters, I've checked the battery condition and it's a bit on the average side, but I think it'll be okay for now. I'll check into that further. Battery terminals as well as the posts themselves, pulled them off, cleaned them. In fact, the negative terminal was loose, so I've tightened that up as well. So you're all caught up right now. For our open circuit voltage, as you can see on the multimeter, we are reading, 12.57, something along those lines. We should start her up. We should see an increase to probably about 14.3 volts on this system. Let's see how we go. And we're seeing squat diddly do. That alternator is not doing what it's meant to do. So what sort of checks do we need? Well, let's head toward the alternator. So I've got myself a wiring diagram for the 4JJ1 engine, and it's a fairly basic setup. They have two connections going onto the alternator itself, apart from the main battery cable, of course. We'll look for voltage drop, terminal retention, stuff like that. But the actual physical connector going in there has an S and an L. S stands for sense, and that goes all the way back to the battery, so that has power at all times. The L stands for light, and that comes off the ignition switch. When we turn on the ignition switch, power goes through there, off to the regulator, gets earth through the regulator. Now when the alternator starts to charge, it backfeeds through the light, comes back through here, through the charge relay, and turns the light off. But in this case, do we need to check our light? Well, no, we know the light is actually on the dash. That isn't a problem. We need to check our sense wire, and of course maybe this charge relay as well, and just figure out what's happening over here. So we'll have a quick look at that, okay? First of the two wires I'm going to check is my sense wire. I believe it's this one. Let's have a look. It should be 12 volts. 12.6 volts, that's battery voltage. So that's in good nick. Let's have a look at the other one. It should be basically nothing until I turn the ignition on, as far as I understand. And we've got something weird. No, it's ghosting voltage. Now if I turn on my ignition switch, in theory, as far as I understand, I should get 12 volts, but I've got 1.2 volts. Now, I'm going to head back to that little regulator if I can find it, or not the regulator, the relay, and see if I can find out why it's sitting at that voltage. May be acceptable, may not be acceptable. But if we put the light out, we should be able to power that up and put the light out. Let's just start that up and see what it does. Let's see if we can find that charge relay. Not sure if this is something or not. I'm just having a look at the main cable, the main battery cable coming off the alternator, and of course it's out of focus. But if I just come back a fraction for you, not sure if you can see how crusty it is. It doesn't look fantastic, so I'll do maybe a voltage drop test there and see what sort of voltage we're getting out of it before I call an alternator. This particular model doesn't appear to have a charge relay per se, but I'll look into that further if necessary. So that there is straight off the terminal itself, not the wire. I'll put it onto the wire itself. What's that, 1239, something along those lines. That's the wire itself, so it's no huge voltage. It's voltage drop obviously, but nothing like what could be expected. So I'm thinking that we have a crook alternator. I mentioned before the charge relay here. I was a little bit concerned about its location and if it was activating, etc. But further research seems to indicate that that charge relay is in fact the main ECM relay, and of course we know that the engine's running and stuff like that, so it should be okay. I can't see any reason for it, so I feel confident now that we have an alternator fault that we need to replace the alternator. That'll be the cheapest option at this point in time, rather than pulling it apart, doing a reg and finding other faults with it. Now, I've had this battery on charge for some time, but I thought to myself I wanted to do one last test before I pull the alternator off and replace it. I've already checked the sense wire, and let's double check that. I'm just going to gently probe that one, and it says 12.94 volts. Keep in mind that I've just charged this battery. So I'm now going to go into the light wire, and remember it was 1 point something before. Let's see what that one does. I've actually disconnected that connector from the back of the alternator. That's the thing that's changed. So that's why I want to see what it's doing. If I have voltage here, reasonable voltage, then I know that it is the alternator itself. If I still have that voltage drop there, then obviously I need to investigate further. So I'm now just gently probing that, and I'm getting 11.4. That's a lot better than 1, isn't it? So I feel confident to replace that alternator at this point in time, because it's got a voltage drop pulling that light down through the regulator, and of course that keeps the light on. I've pulled off the intake ducting just to make access to the alternator easier. Shouldn't be too hard. We've got this bolt down here, the top bolt. There'll be one down the bottom there. I'm going to replace the belt as well. And over there is our main battery bolt. I've disconnected my connectors for my sense and light wire, but this guy here, of course you have to be super careful if you leave the battery attached, because that's going to be live. Anyway, shouldn't be too much of a job, he said. Always double check your parts, make sure you've got the correct part. Now this guy here is a twin V-belt, as you can see. The one down there is a multi-rib. I've got to take this guy back, get it changed over to the correct one. Bit frustrating, but at least I didn't fit it and find out that it was wrong, then have to pull it off again. And now, through the magic of editing, we've got the correct one. Okay, multi-rib pulley. This connector is in a different spot, and there's also a cover on the back, which is the same as what we have. Let's quit messing around and install this thing. I've got the old one off, and just comparing the bearings, I'm going to spin them up and you can have a look. So this guy here, see the blue mark? Give her a spin, and that's quite free, isn't it? Continues to go. Have a look at this one here. She's a bit solid, mate. So who knows what's going on inside there. The bearings feel really stiff, but besides that, we've concluded that this is the only solution to the problem. Don't know if that's going to fix the handbrake light coming on. Sometimes they backfeed and they do some weird stuff. I hope that it does. If not, we've got a second issue to contend with. Now, I'd like to say it went in super easy, but it took a little bit of manoeuvring, and as you can see, I sacrificed myself as well. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit on that arm, and a fair bit on that arm, hey? The things we do for our trade. Can't remember if I mentioned it, but I'm actually replacing both belts. The customer said, yes, it gets serviced every 10,000, but if he does it himself, it's just going to be oil and filter. Have a look at this belt. This is way past its abuse by date, and it's pretty much had it. Multi-rib, not so much, but while I'm there, I'm going to replace it anyway. He said it was okay to do it if necessary. But yeah, if people service it themselves, they're not doing it according to the manufacturer's specs, and it can be quite easy to miss something. That's all done. Let's start it up and see what we get. So idle is 13. It's slowly building. It's not overly exciting, I'll be honest. Maybe the battery needs a bit of a tickle up, a bit of encouragement, but it's certainly coming up, isn't it? I'll bring the revs up anyway. Headlights on now. Bit of a load. And we're reading 13.2 with a load attached to it. Headlights, spotlights on, 13, so it's holding. Let's just bring the revs up under load. .8 is a little bit low, and this certainly isn't encouraging. It should be around the 13.8 right now, but I do have the spotlights on it, quite a high draw on it. Maybe the battery's not accepting the current. We'll have to wait and see. And of course the good news is that that battery light is out, but what about that handbrake light? Is that still on? Well, the handbrake's on. Let's pull that off. And there it goes. Good news. Okay, so look, I'll suggest to the customer that that battery may be on the way out. Even though it's charged, it may be you know, on the way out. So that might account for the slow charge rate of the battery. I'll just double check the voltage output at the back of the alternator just to compare it to at the battery to make sure that there's no voltage drop there, or perhaps on the earth as well. I'm on the negative side of the battery there. I'm on the frame right next to the alternator, so doing a voltage drop test, and I'm getting 25 millivolts. That's not an issue. So let's go to the positive side. This guy has quite a large current draw set up on his vehicle, including huge spotlights. I've got them on at the moment. I'll just bring the revs up. That's 2,000 RPM there. Drop my spotlights off. We're up pretty close to the range that it's meant to be. So look, I'm going to leave it at that and let the customer decide what he wants to do. If he has no trouble with it, that's well and good, but I think the battery perhaps might need replacement as well. Perhaps it's a little past its abuse by date after the alternator hasn't been charging it properly. Just gone and done a decent battery test once again, and the state of health is 73%, surprisingly. I've just charged the battery, of course, and I've the open circuit, I had to turn the lights off and on to get it down to open circuit of 12.6, but in actual fact it's saying it's a good battery. So yeah, we'll get the owner to keep an eye on this. If it has any more issue, we'll have to chase it further. It's within the range that it should be. It's just at the lower range. I would have expected it to be a little bit higher. According to the test procedure here, you can see with a variable resistor attached, it should be 14.4 plus or minus 3. Now we're getting 14.1, which is within that limit, of course, and a variable resistor in my case is a decent set of spotlights. So it's well within range. Perhaps I'm overthinking it. Obviously the best thing to do is give it back to the customer and see if they have any trouble with it. I don't believe they will, but if so, we'll have to look into it further. Now it's time for a road test. So after the road test, the battery light still stays out, no problems, handbrake lights off, all that sort of gizmo. I reckon this guy must service the thing himself. I don't reckon it's being done according to the manufacturer's specs. The bonnet was really hard to move, so I've lubricated that. Handbrake needs adjustment, rear brakes need adjustment. I don't think the valve clearances have been done. The belts were knackered. So yeah, I think he's just servicing it himself. When a customer services it themselves without following the manufacturer's specs, they can miss out on a hell of a lot of important items that need to be serviced. So it took a little while to get that alternator out, including, oh, blood rule, yeah, a few scratchy items down there, but I eventually got it done. I don't reckon you'll scratch your arm when you go to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So do that, won't you? Give it a like, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget about that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Check us out on Instagram as well as Facebook. See what's happening both in the workshop and the lab. And while you're waiting for the next video to come out, you can cruise around the channel and have a look at other videos that might interest you. In the meantime, guys, this is MiracleMAX signing off. I will catch you later.